Creation according to the Vedic tradition. Reality starts with the supreme, original, eternal abode of Lord Krishna and his most intimate devotees. This abode is inconceivably blissful and full of knowledge, the origin of real love. Although there are pastimes and occurrences, there is no time as we understand it, for it is eternal reality, without beginning or end, and it is blissful. Here the Lord is worshipped and understood without awe and reverence, but with love. But that abode is surrounded by a transcendental lotus flower, which sits in the spiritual sky which goes on for eternity. That sky is full of Vaikuntha planets, planets without anxiety. The first Vishnu expansions of Lord Krishna are four-armed gods with their own planets: Aniruddha, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, and Vasudev. But other planets include the Lord's various incarnations that have come to the earth in the past. On these planets in Vaikuntha, without anxiety, the Lord is worshipped in a sense of awe and reverence. But then, near to but very different from the lotus flower, is a dark cloud that sometimes appears to accommodate those who do not want to serve the Lord in any way or form. But before we get to there, there's an effulgence around that huge lotus flower. This is the Brahma Jyoti. This is the effulgence of the Lord, but there's no form, there's no variety, although it's without anxiety. But this is not a satisfactory place. But when we enter into the Mahatattva, which is the cosmic manifestation, that dark cloud, let's see what happens there. Let's have a close-up. So as a dark cloud appears, that dark of doubt, the shadow of the lotus flower, and in there resides Mahavishnu, the Vishnu form who lies there in the cosmic ocean. As he breathes in and out, innumerable different kind of cosmic eggs come out, in and out of his body, like miniature universes, which expand and contract. Half asleep, Mahavishnu glances upon the material energy personified as Durgadevi there, and that glance includes all the conditioned jivas, the prisoners that decided voluntarily to come to this material world. The deity of that glance is Lord Shiva. Now near Mahavishnu's toe is our universe. Let's have a close look at that. All these millions of universes are like golden eggs. We are just in one of them, and there it is. In terms of the general relative scale, about the size of our galaxy is one of these huge eggs. But most of it is just ego, for ego is the main sign of a conditioned soul, prisoners in this world. And that transforms, condenses into intelligence 10 times smaller. That becomes the mind. We get smaller and smaller. Then we get ether, space, and from there gases are formed. If we look at the history of the universe, we can see the gas giants that were formed during this time in the universe's history. From air, fire, stars are formed. From there, water, liquids formed, and there, earth, solids are formed in our universe. We get to the central core, and we can actually just see, can't we, the development of our solar system, from more gaseous to the one we recognise today. This solar system, matching dimensions in the fifth canto, matching modern calculations of about 4 billion miles across, is called Bhumandala. Closing in there on the Earth. The Vedic conception is that the universe is geocentric, Earth-centered. All elements are present there on the Earth. The lotus stem of Lord Brahma. Of course, in each and every cosmic egg we discussed earlier, that's it, the Garbhodakshay Vishnu lies on the ocean in each and every one. And from his navel comes the lotus stem of Lord Brahma. There he is. But when he's first born, he's surrounded by darkness. He doesn't know what to do, he doesn't know how to create. So he takes darshan, he takes audience of Govinda, and from there he gets his conception of variety and form and beauty, on the basis of which the universe is formed. From his lotus flower, therefore, and from all the different planets, starting from the highest going down to the lowest, all above the Garbhodaka ocean, where planets cannot exist in their orbits. The Satyaloka, the highest planet, then down to Tapaloka, Janaloka, Mahaloka, and Dhruvaloka. The Earth system is somewhere in the middle and at the bottom somewhere, invisible on this graph. Planets in the universe have various types of oceans, like Gi, sugarcane juice, or similar to, sweet water, milk and curd, liquor, and salt water, like of course the Earth. Many of those planets are heavenly when compared with the Earth, but there's also lower planets as well. Atalaloka, Vitalaloka, Sutalaloka, and so forth. Even if they're more opulent, it's understood they suffer more due to their atheistic nature. There are 400,000 different humanoid species throughout the universe. Many of the planets are inhabited by such beings. And that universe lasts for 311 trillion 40 billion Earth years, which is the lifetime of Lord Brahma and this universe, of course. From Lord Brahma's relative point of view, he lives for just 100 of his years. And to him, he is now 50 years, 7 months, and 7.5 of his days old. A daytime for Lord Brahma is 4.32 billion years on the Earth. The origin of life on the Earth. Now, the modern estimate for the age of the Earth, in modern terms, is about 4.5 billion years. So let's compare that in the background of Lord Brahma's night and day. So the night time of Lord Brahma there would correspond with maybe the embryonic or the primordial part of the Earth, getting it to halfway through this particular day where we recognise the Earth of the modern times. But one kalpa, which is just one day of Lord Brahma, is itself divided into 14 divisions called manvantaras. That itself is divided into 71, called Dipa Yugas. Each Dipa Yuga is 4.32 million years old, and is like a cycle. That cycle itself then is divided into 4, Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali Yuga. And although of course there's always been relatively or so-called primitive forms of humans, in the Satya Yuga, direct descendants of demigods who live for hundreds of thousands of years and are not limited to the Earth. Treta Yuga, down to Dwapara Yuga, in the end, of course, Kali Yuga, which is this age of spiritual decline where we are now. But by the end of Kali Yuga, unfortunately the whole Earth will be like a desert and the human beings will be pretty degraded too. That's in a long time from now, so don't worry too much. But with the start of Satya Yuga, is, I suppose you could say, a type of regeneration by the demigods, who then descend on the Earth, transform it from that awful desert-like place, and fill it again with insects, plants and animals and so forth. So therefore we are rejecting the common views or theories of evolution, and indeed suspicious missing links in relatively recent evolution. The way we see it is like this. Imagine this yellow arrow there being a day of Lord Brahma. Of course there's the night time too, but let's reduce the night so it's easy to see. We represent that by little lines there. During one day of Lord Brahma, he has offspring, but they don't live any more than one day. But within that day, which is still a very long time by our calculations, you'd have the primary demigods. They themselves would create a next generation, and they themselves would create another generation, and so forth, each one living shorter than the other. Eventually, by the time we reach to the point where putting life on the Earth, the goddesses would fill the Earth with plants and animals, etc. And of course, that would include the modern humans as we recognise today. Of course, with the nighttime of Lord Brahma, all that is destroyed, and Lord Brahma will start all over again. So in summary then, we're starting off with spiritual forms like we saw at the beginning of this presentation. From that we get subtle forms, forms like demigods and superior humanoid beings. And from they are the sub-creators, and they would create gross matter forms, like carbon-based humans as we recognise on this Earth. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. Take care and Hare Krishna.